This week we're finally getting ready for our very first motorcycle trip as a group of 4 riders. I'm taking the MT-07 2025, but we've already ran into a couple of problems. First of all, this motorcycle bag from Rhino Walk. It's a great bag and I really like it, but there is a connection point right here that's already broken and that can happen. So I'm gonna send this unit back and I'm gonna get another one. I've actually already ordered one, so I'm just gonna give them a second chance. It's a really nice bag, but I'll show you later. The second reason is my buddy's bike. His rear shock is leaking, so we wanted to fix that obviously before we're going on the journey. I've got a mechanic and he told his mechanic if he had time, and we managed to fix something. So we're gonna fix that tomorrow, but today we're going to biker outfit to get some essentials. I'm thinking about getting an airbag and some shoes because I've got these riding shoes, but they're not really protective around the ankle. So I'm looking to get a new pair.
After fighting through Amsterdam's rush hour, we finally made it to the motorcycle store. And that's when I was reminded once again, I've already peaked physically in life.
Oh, f***. Oh, I overstretched my leg. That was so embarrassing.
Yeah, definitely need to work on my mobility.
Don't try this shit at home!
Look at this, you have this very cool feature. They give you the strap with you and you can just clip it here so you can carry it with you everywhere you want. Just like now, we're gonna take this inside so we can see if, for example, my airbag fits.
Inside, I met up with the boys.
Hey, gang.
We went to the basement to look for some affordable gear because, like my friend said,
ja, kom op, je moet ook even ergens, anders moet je 5 barkie lakken, ja, wat jij wil. We komen hier met rattengeld, dan moeten we ook rattenjassen kopen, hoor. Ja.
After a heated debate about a jacket,
Want je zit zo op de motor.
my buddy finally pulled the trigger on his very first motorcycle jacket after 1.5 years of riding.
What's up guys, we're at the store here. We've got a lot of shoes here behind me, but I've got the Tech Air 3.
After paying and walking out of the store a lot lighter in the wallet, we went outside and connected our car doors.
Nice.
Now that we've got our gear, it was time to fix the rear shock suspension.
What's up guys, we're sitting on the Honda NC700S. This bike has a leaking rear shock and I'm just testing it out to see if I'm gonna notice a difference once we install the new shock suspension. I have to say, it rides pretty nice. The saddle is a lot softer than the MT-07. For now, it is becoming a little bit softer. Brother, I can't say I notice anything from the rear shock suspension yet. It is pretty dangerous to be riding with a leaking rear shock because a rear shock is essential for taking corners. The shock obviously absorbs a lot of impact that's being directed from the road, but it's a smooth ride at the moment. And there goes my bike. How is it? I don't think they can hear you, but it's nice, yeah. Powerful, huh? That's 30 kg or 40 kg lighter. Yeah, you do feel the weight difference, yeah. Oh, I have to say, this bike rides a lot more relaxed than mine. I can see why you don't want to do hooligan stuff on yours. Let me get some rollers. Just looking at you. BAM! Waggy van niks. Oh, it's such a nice bike. Oh shit! Right, I'm gonna switch over to the installation of the new suspension.
Right, so we're at the garage now. They have a bunch of motorcycles, all from the family. Real sick to see. He says apparently this is just comfortable, but I don't really believe him. But apparently it is.
Honestly, watching him work, we thought, yeah, we could have done this ourselves.
Gewoon boutjes los onder, boven.
Het is vooral dit wat heel nice is. Maar dit kan je gewoon met een carjack kan je dat ook doen.
But I've only got limited experience, my buddy has none, and I'm not about to risk someone else's bike and safety, so maybe we were a bit delusional.
Ja, klopt. Maar ja, hij staat nu echt stevig.
Ja, hij staat wel echt stevig. Kijk, weet je, dan heb je
Met
iets nodig inderdaad om dat wiel niet te laten schuiven.
His setup was way beyond anything we could have managed in a parking lot, and that's why we let a pro handle it. Jelle gave up his entire evening to help us, so massive thanks to him. Here's the old suspension, dirty, leaking oil and almost begging to be replaced. And speaking of dirty, I had to call my friend out.
Deze jongen maakt ook niks schoon, hè?
Nou,
Kijk naar je ding, jongen.
Ja, hij is echt
Hij is ranzig, man.
Oh, ja.
Heel subtiel was
Dat
het.
is tof, ja.
But to be fair, I've been there too. Cleaning those tire rims is one of those chores everyone avoids. But here is the new shock suspension. Normally these go for around 350 euros, but we needed one fast. So he ended up paying 500 euros to get it as soon as possible. Yes, it's painful for the wallet, but that's what you sign up for when you buy a motorcycle. We went for a test ride back home, the bike felt way better, and with the new shock in place, the trip was saved.
When we discovered my buddy's rear shock was leaking, it was a reminder of how important it is to do your motorcycle maintenance. My MT-07 2025 is brand new, so I'm not really gonna check it, but I'm gonna go over it with the MT-125 and show you how to prepare for a motorcycle trip and how you prepare your bike. And it's also just useful motorcycle stuff in general. First, the chain. A dry or dirty chain creates friction, reduces power transfer and wears out your sprockets faster. In the worst case scenario, your chain can snap on the road, which is extremely dangerous. Let's start off with the chain cleaner. Let it soak for a little bit. If you don't have one of these paddock stands, by the way, you need to get one. These are an absolute life changer. Otherwise you have to keep pushing the bike forward and then spray it. After the chain cleaner, I usually just spray the chain down with some water and get all the dirty grime out of this. Because if you do too much chain loop, all this grime is gonna stick to your motorcycle and it's gonna look like this, which is absolutely disgusting and I can't ever get that off of my bike. Alright, that looks good enough. Now we're gonna use the chain lube. Here it is, Motul chain lube. And make sure you don't spray on too much and remove any excess oil. Now, chain slack. The chain needs a little free play. How much is written in your bike manual, and mine needs 35mm. If your chain is too loose, it can skip a sprocket or even come off completely. If your chain is too tight, you put extra stress on the gearbox and bearings. Probably not a concern on the 125cc though, but still in general it is important. Alright, when tightening, it's important to use the 70mm and the 90mm. The 70mm is required to hold this in place, otherwise you're just gonna keep spinning the axle nut and you're not actually tightening it. So this goes here and this one goes here and tighten it and that's it.
Next up is tire pressure. Both too low and too high tire pressure is bad. The downside of low tire pressure on a motorcycle includes poor handling, increased tire wear and more built-up heat that can cause the tire to blow up. Too much air and you lose grip, braking distance, cornering ability, risk of punctures, and the tire can also blow. You can find the specific specifications for your bike right here. So my motorcycle needs 1.8 in the front and 2 bar in the back, so let's fix that. Holy moly, I had 1.4 bar, that's not too good. Alright, that's that fixed. 1.6 in the back, that's also not very good. Low tire pressure can also result in dry rot. You can see it in my tire here. You can see those cracks all around my tire. This is probably a pretty bad case, but I need new tires anyways pretty soon. Alright, that's the tires fixed. Let's move on to the next one. Holy moly, the difference is crazy.
Alright, let's talk about your coolant. Your coolant is located right here and it keeps the bike from overheating, which is especially important on a long motorcycle trip when you're gonna do a lot of back-to-back riding. Check your owner's manual for how to check your coolant. Mine needs to be stood up right and stuff like that. You have low and maximum right there. If your coolant is too low, your engine can run hot and it's gonna result in permanent damage from overheating. In severe cases, it seizes completely and that means you can go to the junkyard and sell your motorcycle for parts. Alright, next up is oil. Oil is the blood of your motorcycle. It keeps the engine lubricated and it also absorbs the heat. Too little oil and parts are gonna start wearing and worst case scenario is gonna blow up and you can go to the junkyard once again. But too much oil is also not good because it's gonna foam inside of your crankcase or it's gonna start leaking from places. You just don't want that. So make sure it's between minimum and maximum. I've got a dipstick right here. Most modern bikes have see-through glass, but the concept is the same. Minimum, maximum, and you're good to go. Next up is brakes. These are also easy to overlook, but very, very important. If your brake has worn too much, obviously your stopping power is gonna decrease. And if both your brake disc and your brake pads are worn out, you're gonna have metal-metal contact, and that's gonna be even worse for your bike. Make sure there aren't any grooves in the disc, like I have right here. And you can also feel like this. If this part is bigger than the disc itself, it's pretty worn out. So mine is gonna need replacing, and I can also feel that when I'm braking, the brake just takes a lot longer to engage and it also is a lot weaker when it's engaging and it's pretty dangerous. So make sure for a big motorcycle trip, you have good brakes. Volg jij mij?
Ik volg jou zeker.
Shit, man, my guy. Thanks, man.
Zeker.
Hoe lang al?
Echt leuk.
Ja?
Leuk hoe je dat doet.
Hey, thanks man. Ja, ik vind het fucking awkward om hier te filmen. Ik vind dit echt horrific, maar ja, het is wel leuk om te doen op zich als je iets hebt gemaakt en het is gewoon af.
Ik moet echt zeggen, ook over de maanden heen.
Thanks
Ik zie wel
man.
dat het niveau echt
Stijgende lijn, toch?
Daarom ook, ik stop daar net, ik denk van... als je
Ja
bezig
man, ik
bent-
denk deze man, hij reft mij. Sowieso kent hij mij of zo.
Ja,
wat?
ik zat te bellen met iemand. Dus
Oh,
ik dacht
oké.
van, ik wacht even.
Ja man, is geen stress. Next up is lights and indicators. It sounds simple, but if you can't signal to other drivers where you're going, or if they can't see your brake light, that's gonna result in some very dangerous situations, especially if you're riding abroad and you don't know the road exactly. So make sure everything is working. Also make sure your headlight is working and your high beam is working, just in case you get caught out in the night. And finally, the battery. If it's weak, your bike might not start at all, or it can die in the middle of nowhere and leave you stranded. Check the terminals for corrosion and make sure it's charged. If the battery is really old, just replace it or bring a trickle charger with you. This is just a checklist, by the way. I can't explain everything in great detail, so make sure to check your owner's manual for your motorcycle or just go to the garage. They're probably gonna ask for your left kidney, but at least you know you're mostly okay.
The bikes are ready. Next up, packing my bags.
Let's start off with my motorcycle gear. This is the AJC 90S. They don't manufacture this helmet anymore, unfortunately, because it's a very good helmet. It's a modular helmet, so it opens up just like that, and it has an internal sun visor, which I don't really use a lot because I've got this black visor, which I might change out for a clear visor since this is technically illegal. It says here, daytime use only. Then I have the Cardo on the other side. This is the Cardo Pack Dog Edge. It has a magnetic connection, so it's very easy to take off just like that and pop it back on. I've got the chin mount right here, and this is for my GoPro, obviously. It's a great helmet, and yeah, this is what I'm gonna be using. These are my two motorcycle gloves. They're both from Revit. This is a winter glove and this is a summer glove. This winter glove has Gore-Tex, and that means it's waterproof, and Gore-Tex is one of the leading manufacturers in waterproof gear. It has seen better time, as you can see. However, it's still very, very nice, especially when we're getting caught out in the rain. This is my summer glove. It's very movable and breathable, which is probably what I'm going to be using most of the time. However, the Velcro has been giving out on me lately. I mean, they're 3 years old, so what can you expect? And this is the newest addition to the team. This is the Alpinestar Tech Air 3. It's a motorcycle airbag, and I'm really glad I got this one. I got it in fluo yellow, and that means I'm going to be more visible at night. It's also mandatory to have one of these if you have like any sort of an accident, or if your motorcycle breaks down and you're on the side of the road, so it's also nice for that. The main reason I got this motorcycle airbag is because it's so much safer than just regular motorcycle gear. This thing, once inflated, is 18 times better than a back protector, and those are some stats you just cannot beat. It's gonna be protecting my chest and my back and spine, and that's what it's all about. My motorcycle pants from Revit, it's A-level rated, not that protective. You can slide maybe 2 seconds with this, and that's not a lot. You'd need to be riding 50 km/h for this to be safe. So we're gonna get the Pandomoto leggings, AAA rated and a lot better, but they didn't have it in my size, so we're gonna go to another store once we're actually riding with the group. And these are the motorcycle shoes I'm gonna take with me. They're casual motorcycle shoes, so they're not that protective. However, they are fairly protective when you compare them with regular boots. This is pretty stiff and you cannot squeeze it at all. And if I bring a regular shoe, I'm gonna show you. Wait, give me a second. These are my Levi's, very great white shoes, a little bit overexposed at the moment, but as you can see, I can pretty easily just crush them like that, and they're just not protective at all on the sides. And the shoe is a lot higher, so there is less chance of it falling off your feet in a crash. And now the clothes I'm gonna take with me. Let's start with some essentials, just some underwear. I've got some socks I'm gonna take with me, a couple of shirts, a sweater and a hoodie, some perfume and some deodorant, a toothbrush, and some essentials for in the shower. I'm also taking a power bank with me, and I've got rain pants. And I must have missed some things, but you get the point. For my camera gear, I've got the GoPro Hero 10 Black with the media mod. I've also got the ND filters for the GoPro. This is ND8 up to ND32, and you're gonna be switching these out depending on how bright the sun is. I've also got these GoPro batteries. These are the Enduro batteries. The original GoPro batteries expanded when I got into an airplane, so I had to switch these out. To mount them on my chin mount, I have a J-hook. This is my most used mount, and I also have a vertical mount for Instagram and of course the adapter that goes with that. But the GoPro is not my only camera. I also have the Insta360 X5 and this is a 360-degree camera, which is just nice when the GoPro is running low on battery or if I just want a different kind of shot. And I also have the Insta360 motorcycle clamp. If I want some POV footage, I'll use the H1N zoom recorder. This is a dead cat, so there's not too much wind noise. And this is my newest piece of gear. This is the DJI Mic 2. As you can see, I've got one of these cameras, the other one I'm using right now, and this is really nice because I don't have to synchronize my audio in post anymore. I can just connect these to my camera. And last but not least is going to be my iPhone. This is going to be what I'm going to be using to make pictures or make some videos, and that's all I'm going to be taking for my YouTube channel. And this is my Rhino Walk bag. You can expand this, let me show you how. It says 40 liter up till 60 liter. It becomes a pretty big bag. I'm really happy with it. Also because it's waterproof. You can enter the bag from above, just like that. Or you can unzip these side pieces right here and you can access the bag from the side. This is super cool. I don't really know what this is, but for this trip I think I'm gonna go with the smaller version of this bag because this is a little bit excessive. It stays pretty stable, but as you can see it sags a little bit, so I think this is good enough. On the top of the bag you have these things and I'm probably gonna be using that for my motorcycle cover. But that's it for the Rhino Walk. Let's go and install it. First, make sure the reflector is behind you. Alright, this connection thing has two really nice features. The first one is this one. It's just an extra mechanism to make sure the strap doesn't move. But you need to open this if you want to change the position, and you will need to close this when you're done. Second, the access strap, you can just wrap it into this little Velcro package I've got here. So do the Velcro like this and you can close it off. For the strap, I do it like this. This is all solid and this is little plastic. So I wrap it through this one, a little bit difficult to get. And then you just throw this one through this. Sorry guys, I have no idea what the words are for these things. Anyways, just like that, we've connected the first piece, and that's pretty much how easy it is. Same process over here. Here are the extra straps. This one goes through. You tighten it. There you go. And into the connector that's not broken. Simply open up this. Now we can move it. Open this one up. We're gonna tighten it. There it goes. You can roll it up. And now the excess is gone. Pretty sturdy. Same process for this one. We're gonna take it through the metal piece here. There we go. It's tight. And then this one is gonna require a bit of effort because it's tightened everywhere. And there we go. We got it. So this bag is not going anywhere. I've already done a test ride with it. It rides great. And that's pretty much how you install it. Just like I said, you have an extra space here. This is where you can leave your phone and your gear and stuff like that. And this is one of the main reasons I actually got this bag. Okay, that's the installation for the Rhino bag done. Really great bag, 130 euros on Amazon. Go get yours there if you're planning on doing a motorcycle trip, obviously. As you can notice, we're outside and I'm super uncomfortable right now. But I hope I brought everything to you clearly and you understood how you should install this thing. We're gonna have a wonderful motorcycle trip and I'm super excited, and I'll see you guys there. Play the trailer.
Today is day one of our motorcycle trip. We're already completely soaked.